So hey everyone, I thought I would fit in a quick video. This may not be as long as usual just because I am heading back to my grandma's and granddad's again for another week just to help with granddad because he's back home now, so that's good. I thought I would do a quick video. I only have my Derwent Studio Pencils here because most are still out where I spent Christmas because I'm heading back out there again. I have been learning to use my polychromos and also learning how to do grayscale with them, so I will be able to do a video on that when I come back, which I'm excited about. So you may wonder what I'm doing for a quick video today. We probably won't get all of this finished, but what I'm using is Leila Duly's The Flower Year colouring book. This is the hardback little copy, and I'm going to use my Derwent Studio Pencils to colour it because that's basically the only medium I have here currently. I have also, well, I tried one flower with playing around with mixing polychromos and Prismacolor. I do see there is limitations there with mixing polychromos and Prismacolor together, so I don't know that I will be doing that much. But yeah, I'm very happy with my polychromos pencils that I got for Christmas and birthday with the money that I got for that. And yeah, I look forward to doing some videos with those too. I've been more like, I want to play with the grayscale with Prismacolor as well, but basically I've just been working on learning my polychromos recently with the grayscale. I do notice the points on those ones stay sharper for a lot longer with the oil-based polychromos pencils, but I will probably do a bit of a comparison video now that I've got the full set and I can do more of a comparison on that. And yeah, so I'm learning how to use my polychromos and just playing around with my book Serene by Nicholas F. Chandrita, I think it is. And I've just been playing around with the polychromos, and I tried a bit of Prismacolor / polychromos mixed in for one little flower because, well, it doesn't have, the polychromos don't have neon colours like Prismacolor does, so, but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun playing around with those. I will be probably trying to mix up my videos more this year, mix in some cheaper pencils with the more expensive pencils, like not mix them together but do different videos. And I've got a few plans that I want to work towards. If I can work out how to do it, maybe do some live streams of the colouring and stuff like that, if I can work out how to attach that to my PC. And yeah, so there are a few things that I want to work towards this year, and yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, so what we'll get to this now. I'm just going to, I probably won't get very far. I'll probably just do half an hour video or something like that today, just because of upload times and stuff like that. So we're using Derwent Studio Pencils here. If you can see that, not really. Yeah, Derwent Studio Pencils. And the colours we're using is Dark Violet, number 25. And this is for, I'm just going to do these little border areas first and then work around that. Magenta, 22. And Pink Madder Lake, 17, number 17. So we're going to use these pencils, and I'm thinking I'm going to start with the border areas and then work my way around from that. Yeah, so I'm just going to do a bit of a video. I'll probably continue this next time. I don't know how much I will get done in the half an hour, just because that's the time limits that I've kind of got with recording and then also editing and trying to get it uploaded before I head away again later this afternoon. So yeah, we'll do the best we can, and I hope you enjoy it. So those bits look like greens in there. Yeah, so those bits are stems. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start with going around the very outside with our dark violet, number 25. This is the This Book Belongs To page. I chose this one just because, well, it is small and very fine details, but also I chose this one because of the fact that, well, I don't have a lot of time to work on the video today, unfortunately. But I just really wanted to get something up for everyone. So I'm just basically doing an outline around it, and then I'm gonna swap where this bit goes after, when I change the direction. I haven't decided on light sources just yet, but I'm trying to work that out now. I'm thinking of coming down from this way down with the light sources, so you'd probably have the shadows in here in this part for that bit, as well as around here. Down the bottom here you'd have more the shadows going around this outer edge till you get to, probably, if it's coming from down here, the shadows would probably go to about here, if I'm looking at this right. Then we want to continue the shadows and come in on this inner edge up here. These pencils, you'll notice, they are artist quality according to Derwent's website, but they don't push out nearly as bright colour as the Polychromos or Prismacolor work into it. You really have to work it to get that colour depth in with these pencils. Usually it stretches the tooth of the page working the colour depth in with these pencils, just because they are a lot harder lead and they don't seem to push out quite as bright colour. I will do a bit of a comparison between all these Inktense, stuff like that. I'm still sorting out, hopefully getting a set of Derwent Pro Colour maybe eventually to test that as well. But yeah, you need to work in the colour depth with the Derwent Studio pencils a lot more than you would with, say, Polychromos or Prismacolor. But yeah, I've kind of got these Derwent Studio pencils all over the place, because before I got my Prismacolor and Polychromos, I had work in progress everywhere using these pencils. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of, as I usually do. I haven't used this this method completely with the grayscale, because it mostly outlines your details, but I do notice that it does, not doing this does seem to make the, shall we say, make the colour combos blend into each other quite so well. It doesn't blend in as well as it might if you do it. But I'm going to cut it. Sometimes you also don't want to do this, because you want the colour to stand out, not be changed by the colour that's underneath from the shadows. So it all depends on what you're doing as to if you use this method or if you don't use it, because I find sometimes I don't use it and sometimes I do. It all depends. So I'm just going to bring in the purple down on these outer areas too before we change from the, or the dark violet, before we change from that. And we're just going to add a little extra of the violet down here because of the shadow from the circle above that area. And we want to blend it down towards the outside where we've got our dark shadows. And then we just want to add our light layer. But as I said, I don't always, well, with the grayscale I wasn't always using this blending method, but I do notice it does look a lot more streaky when you don't use it. But that's just my observations. So this bit here, because it's across the top, I think I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go in the opposite spot for this one. And still, because it's underneath, we still have a bit of a shadow up there. But yeah, I might do a comparison video on showing the differences between using this blending method and not using it as a afterthought then, because it can show a bit of the difference between when you decide to use it and when you don't decide to use it, as I didn't. Some things, but it also depends upon the images, because I found with the grayscale a lot of the shading areas are highlighted out. It's very small areas like this, so that was another reason why I wanted to try doing this one in a video, because I figured that doing trying it in this video will show if it is possible to fit this shading in these small areas without changing the colour too much, if that makes sense. Because yeah, it does tend to change the colour. So if you want a bright pink to show out, doing the dark purple shading underneath, that will stop the bright pink from showing out. And I always find you get a better blend if you do dark to light. But yeah, so I guess it's something that I've got to play around with a lot more. That I want to play around with a lot more, just to see if I can work out a method of getting it less streaky and looking better. I do. So I guess that's another aim for this year. And I just went over things, didn't I? Yep. But yeah, that is something that I've noticed between those, and I won't say it doesn't bother me, because it does kind of bother me. But sometimes too, if you want patterns or something to show up in it, then you will, shall we say, do it that way, because with the patterns, well, you kind of want the details to show, so even if you do separate lines, it kind of works in with patterns, and this image had a lot of patterns as well, so it can work for certain images, I find, but I still do find that I like having things blended properly together, but I also find at times I want the colour to show more than that, so I guess it's a toss-up between the two as to what you do, I guess. So, yeah. But I guess, like, it may sound crazy, but I'm still learning as I do this too, so I'm still experimenting, learning, changing how I do things as well. So I guess, as I said too, I was still learning my polychromos pencils and what works best with them as well. So it's viable that there will be some mistakes or some things that don't necessarily work on the first image I do with the polychromos. There may be some things different. Sometimes things look better without so much blending, say if you're doing patterns and stuff. But yeah, I find I still like when things look properly blended, but then when you do properly blend them, it does change the colours. And that is something I've noticed with the polychromos. They very easily blend into each other and completely change what the colour is with the pinks and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess you do different methods compared to different things. But yeah, enough of that, sorry. I'm just trying to work out in my mind about it all. I can't really... Oh, hang on, I'll see. I'll see if I can zoom in on this image that I took on my phone, just to show you. So I'll just focus it. This is the image that I have been working on with the polychromos and grayscale. So as you'll see here, because I was sort of following the lines, you can sort of see where the lines blend into each other a lot more. But then at the same time, you'll see this image has so many patterns and details that it also works with it. So that's what I mean by, I guess it depends on the image as to how you do it or how you blend it in. So like, I think it's working together. I think it's working for sure, but at the same time it's like I do like to have it blended. But then as you'll see here, if I had done that light blending with the purple up into here, whoops, you wouldn't be able to see these pink layers up in there because I've blended the purple up into that, and that would change that pink colour that I wanted to stand out. So I guess depending on the image, you do each image differently depending on how you want it to look, I guess. And that actually makes me feel, I was kind of getting annoyed by how it looked a bit, but now I realise it's okay. So talking to you guys has helped me out as well with it. So now what we're going to do, we may not get too much done, I'll see. We're going to bring in our magenta, pencil number 22, and we're going to bring that in over these faint purple lines and bring a light layer of the magenta down there. I'm just going to make sure that's blended in properly. So yeah, as you'll see, if I'd wanted this magenta colour, I'm just looking for, just use this. If I wanted this magenta colour just like this, that doesn't work if you have a light layer of purple blending into it. It completely changes the colour. So that is why in that image, which I've now realised is okay, I've sort of done it side by side and coloured over the purple to blend it into the purple. But then what I've done, if I can find my white pencil, and the white pencil isn't in that spot currently, it's over here. What I've done then is I've gone and actually used the white to try and blend a bit of the purple and the pink together. But it does work with that image because there are so many patterns. So yeah, I feel a lot happier, and I've solved that, well, I don't know, I guess everyone has that image, that feeling when they're colouring an image and they're like, this isn't working how I want it to, or it's a bit too streaky, or you get a bit too picky about it, about what you're doing. And I kind of feel now, after discussing that stuff with you guys, that, well, it's okay. It's how I wanted the image and how I wanted to do the image. And each image can be done slightly differently with slightly different techniques and patterns and stuff like that. So it all works in the end. So yeah, it's all good. It's always good to have others to discuss those things with. So yeah, what we're doing, we're just blending in this magenta into the borders. See, again, like, even though we've got the blending in here, it does kind of work because we've got our straight dark lines down here that allow us to sort of have those shadows showing. Yeah, hand cramps, I've been getting a lot of those lately. Because I've been spending so much time colouring while my ankles bung. I finally had to bite the bullet, and I'm going to the doctor today and going to ask about getting a referral back to the surgeon who fixed up my ankle and that in the first time, because it's really not good. Particularly since I tripped my mum with it by accident the other day. So yeah, finally decided after 4 weeks of waiting to see if it would get better that I should probably bite the bullet and just go and get things checked and sorted out. So yeah, anyway, also, if you notice the music in the background while I'm talking, I've started putting just quiet royalty-free music on in the background because it, shall we say, is a less step to take when I'm doing the editing side of things, and it means that there is a more gradual blend or variation in the music as I'm doing these videos. It also means that I can more easily control the sound and stuff when I'm doing it, and does take a bit of that time away from adding music and stuff in when we go quiet and just work on the colouring. So I'm trying not to have it too loud so you can still hear me talking, but it's just something I'm experimenting with using to try and, if I can, save on editing time, because I think I've said this before, pretty much recording the video editing takes double the time from recording. So if I record a 2-hour video, I'm looking at possibly around 4 hours of editing. So I thought I would try having the music on the background, see if it works, and hopefully if it does, that'll help with some of the recording time and allow me to get videos uploading faster, which in turn will mean that I can also get videos pumped out because my upload speed is slower, and so if I can take some time off the editing time, that'll mean that I'm able to get videos uploading and start trying to schedule things a bit more for use with the videos, and that'll just, yeah, allow it to be a little more organised and take up a little less time with the editing, which in turn means that I can get faster turnout for the videos. Fingers crossed anyway, that's how it will work. So I'm just turning the book around here to move it around with my hand. I might just stop it for a minute. This might go a little over half an hour. I was intending around half an hour, but it may go a little over just to finish this section. So we'll stop it. We'll probably finish that section. I'm sorry we didn't get much done today, but I sort of wanted to discuss those things with you about what I've been working on, how I've been trying it, the differences I've noticed with some things. So I hope that will help, and I'll probably do a more in-depth video with a comparison video or something like that with it. I might just trace the same image onto a piece of paper and show comparisons between the pencils and do something like that. That could be fun. And yeah, so I will be back shortly to continue with this, with finishing this section, and then yeah, we'll probably leave it at that, but we will definitely be coming back to this one as well. And I'm also hoping to work over the next week if I can, depending. I'm still working on learning the grayscale, but I want to try and get the Joanna Basford This Page Belongs To caught up to the part where I can actually record that section and finish that colour along for this page. So yeah, I'll be back shortly. So we're back. We'll just continue with this, finishing this bit here. What we're going to do here is just blend the magenta down into the area where our shadows change sides, just so that it looks a little more natural, shall we say. I'm not going to use the purple so much in those spots where the shadows change sides, just because I don't necessarily want the purples in those spots, because it's still meant to be light on those areas. And we're just continuing to follow the purple around, colouring the magenta over our blended purple areas where we've done our light purple layer over the top. As you'll notice, it is changing the colour a lot more, so why I blend the colours so much a lot of the time is because it does allow you to get new blends and new colours and change what the colours actually are, and I like doing that. But yeah, as I was talking about, there are times where you don't always want that either, so yeah, you do what works for you at the time as it goes. And we're just going to blend this magenta down into that one. Then we want to put our just light magenta shades around the outside, because we want to blend this colour in as well. Whoops. And try not to go over all the small details in the inside bit. I guess this video turned out to be more of a discussion than a lot of colouring, but yeah, I just wanted to discuss those things. And now our final colour we're going to bring in for this one I was thinking Pink Matter Lake, but I think what I'm going to do is actually bring in the Chinese White, pencil number 72. So ignore my comment about Pink Matter Lake because that is not going to be used with this part here. I want to use the white and blend the white into these colours. And we're just going to do the white over every colour because we want to get that all blended in and looking pretty. And I should have paper behind this. I should, because it'll be dinting this page behind it. Whoops, forgot that. Okay, just temporarily use this. Page. And hope the staple doesn't affect the page underneath it that's in it. So yeah, as I said, we're blending all our white in here, turning those light areas a pretty pink, and also just lightening off some of our magenta. In areas like that. So yeah, I know people probably think that I'm an expert with all of this, but just keep in mind, and that is actually causing it to be worse with the paper in there. It's, as you can see, if the paper starts dinting like that, that means that, oops, that means the tooth is buckling a little bit in the paper. And I'm trying to avoid that too much, so it probably doesn't matter too much if the ink blends from this one, but just hopefully it won't. What I'll do before I do too much more next time, so I don't get dints and stuff in this page, I'll probably just go and get a flat piece of paper to put under there, not something that's been folded or bent or all of that. I need to get some that don't have writing on either side because I don't want ink from the writing coming off on there either. So I tend to use blank. Well, if I can't use a completely blank sheet of paper, because it's got writing on one side, what I'll do is actually put a second sheet with the blank back on it and just use that to so you've basically got both sides blank and the writing pointing into each other so it doesn't rub off. So that's what I'll do if I can't use a piece of paper with blank sides on both sides. But I'll probably do that before I continue this next time. But for this time, I wasn't thinking of it. But yeah, so still just blending in our white. Sorry for moving it around on you, I'm just doing this to get better positions to colour the image. I also I do have spares out there actually, but I didn't have my piece of fabric I used for colouring as well, so I'm trying to keep my hand as much off the pencil as possible so I don't rub the colour off while I'm colouring. Because that is another issue I've come across when you're not using the cloth, and that is why I'm always using a cloth in my videos. Yes. So now if I can find my black, what I'm quickly going to do is just add in some light touches of black, just where these circles meet. So I'm using Ivory Black pencil number 67, and sorry I had it out of the screen. So we're just going to bring in a light touch of black in these areas where the circle meets the border. And try not to go over the lines too much, as I did here. So just down here, you can't really tell, but yeah, I just went slightly over whilst doing those light tones. And we're not going very far, we're just doing little shades of black just around those areas in order to be able to tell the difference where the two borders meet. So I'm not doing it too dark or heavy either, just lightish. So I'm back. Sorry about that, I had to take that phone call. It was from my employment agency. So yeah, I did it without thinking. I just finished the last shading, so we've just got little bits of black shading where these areas are. That's all I'm going to add it in, is just these points where it sort of meets along these areas. Except for I might just add a little bit of the black in along these couple of spots here. Just since it's sort of sitting behind there. And yeah, I'm sorry that it wasn't much done today, but I sort of wanted to discuss that stuff with you. Just at least get a quick video up, because I am going away for a little longer with Grandad and trying to sort that out. And yeah, at least try and do something. And I will keep working on learning the grayscale stuff and try and get that other video ready to record for when I come back in, because I'm not able to do much right now with how bad my ankle is. And yeah, I really hope this helped you and you enjoy it, and I will see you later. Bye.